everybody, this is B. Welcome back to the African Storyteller, and today is yoga day. Woo-hoo-hoo. I'm going to be focusing on our breathing. So today we're going to talk about yoga, and I know we're going to talk about breathing. And I know most people think, is there really something to do about breathing? My lungs already do that. I don't even have to work or think about it. Blah 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 blah. Yes, you do need to exercise your breathing. Breathing is one of the 8 limbs of yoga, and so it's taken with the most seriousness in yoga. You can't really do anything else without really incorporating your breath work in that. And today we're just going to talk about the breathing that we can do every day to help us deal with our anxiousness and our everyday stress, and to just maximize on the goodness of life and the oxygen in our lungs and the force behind life. So, breathing in yoga is called pranayama. Prana means life force. Pranayama is just the extension of breath, making sure that you're really squeezing every single goodness you can out of air. The biggest benefit of breathing is, to me, the release of toxins. Secondly, breathing exercises help you regulate stress and anxiety. We live in times that are very precarious, and people are anxious about, the everyday. Just, am I going to make it through? Do I have a job? My kids, my family, my this, my studies, everybody is stressed. And just take a minute, calm down, and just inhale, exhale, exhale. Being consciously aware that there's nourishment that keeps me alive, and just being grateful to breathing can help you relieve stress and anxiety. So this is extremely important to know that breathing exercise can do that for you. Third benefit is rejuvenation. Breath can rejuvenate you. 3 of the most interesting facts about breath, scientific fact, is number 1, I think the most mind-boggling one is the nasal cycle. Nasal cycle is the truth behind how your nostrils actually supply your body with oxygen. You don't breathe through both your nostrils at the same time. You breathe through, but there's a cavity in between your nostrils that decides which side of your nostril predominantly supplies your body with air. 85% of human population do go through this, and I'm guessing the other 15% are actualized human beings, or are just extremely very lucky. So you have about 60-90 minutes of breath coming into your body through just one nostril. The other one is just pretending to work. It's really good too at pretending to work, because it's just chilling there, acting like it's doing something, but it really isn't, and you don't know which nostril is actually working, which one is not, so that you can be a little bit nicer to the one that does most of the work. But here's the problem that is attached to this natural way of breathing. It is believed that the right nostril supplies air, oxygen to the left side of the brain, and the left nostril supplies air to the right side of the brain. We both know the functionality of brains is dependent on these 2 hemispheres, and there's some things the right side of the brain does and the left side of the brain cannot do, and then does the other side of the brain cannot do. So you want to make sure that both sides of your brains are very well oxygenated, so that you can, of course, maximize on the potential of your brain activity. So there are types of breathing exercises that you can do to make sure that both sides of your brains are always oxygenated, and it's attached to some health issues as well, like blood sugar. The side of your brain that regulates your blood sugar, if it's not very well oxygenated, will lead to a drop in blood, or a blood sugar, or a spike in blood sugar. So see, you want to make sure that both your nostrils are pulling their weight equally. This can sometimes happen when you're sleeping. If you sleep on your right side, the cavity that blocks the right from the left will naturally drop on one side and allow one side of the nostril to work until you turn off in your sleep and the other side gets to work as well. But for some of us who assume Shavasana when we are sleeping, the corpse position, or those of us who sleep on our belly. I'm a belly sleeper, so for those of us who do that, you want to make sure that you are doing your breathing exercises to just maximize on that. So fact number 1 is this nasal cycle. Fact number 2, there's always remnants of of air in your lungs. You want to make sure that the lungs are always inflated. So when you exhale, you don't push all the air out. There is residual air that is left in your lungs, but that residual air sometimes can go stale. Because it's just sitting at the bottom of your lungs. The air is just kind of like, my job is to just make sure everything is nice and plump and inflated. I'm just gonna hang out here for, I don't know, 39 years. No, but we're gonna push you out so that even our residual air is fresh. Yeah, so there's a way you can breathe to make sure that you push out all that nasty, stale residual air, so that your residual air is also nicely oxygenated. And then the third fact is, there are 3 levels to breathing. It's not just an inhale and exhale, friends. It's inhale, hold, exhale. Yeah, so you want to make sure that you are really conscious of your inhales, your holding, and your exhale. Sometimes you tend to overly do the inhale, and you tend to overly do the hold or the exhale. You can never do or you can never overly do the exhale. It's encouraged to exhale as long as you got. But the inhale, you want to keep it nice and short and sweet, and then your holding is supposed to be longish, because you want to make sure that your body maximizes blood. Sometimes we naturally just hold our breath if we are like really shocked, or we are stressed, or we're swimming, or or sometimes when you're talking, if you're a talker like me, and you're just kind of going on and on and on and you don't want to stop in the middle of a sentence, you tend to hold your breath. So there are 3 levels to breathing. 3 things you want to do before any breathing exercise is, obviously, number 1, you need to be comfortable, whether you're sitting on a chair or whether you're sitting on a mat. Whatever it is you're doing, be comfortable. And then, make sure that you are in a well aerated room. There's a good circulation of air. It's nice to do breathing exercises on an empty stomach. So try not to eat maybe an hour prior to you starting your breathing exercises, because it stirs things up sometimes, and it's not very pleasant when you do it on a full stomach. Our first type of breathing exercise is called Nadi Shodhan. Nadi Shodhan. And it's just it's an alternate breathing exercise where you regulate which side of your nostril you want breathing at what time. In breathing exercises and in yoga, you primarily want to have a very long exhale and a very short inhale, because you do inhale a lot of air. Only 21% of that is actually useful to your oxygen, and only a small percentage of that oxygen actually gets retained. But you do tend to retain a lot of excessive, unnecessary air in your system. You want to expel it. The more you expel, the more your body is active. So to do this, I would say first we can start with a 4-4-4, which is a 4-count inhale, a 4-count hold, and a 4-count exhale. But because we are aiming to have a longer hold and a longer exhale, you want to then develop it to maybe a 4-5-6, and then maybe to a 4-6-7, and then ideally, perfectly, you want to go for a 4-7-8, where the 4 is the inhale, and the 7 is the hold, and 8 is the exhale. But for today, we're going to go for the 4-4-4, and then we'll go for the 4-5-6, and then we'll finish off with the 4-6-7. Yeah, so sit comfortably, palms in a receptive way, always facing upward, because you want to be receiving whatever it is the universe is sending you. You're breathing, it's all good energy around you. You want to make sure that you are for sure in a receptive position. Make sure that your spine is straight, remember, active but not strained, relaxed but not lethargic. So you want to use this mudra if you want to, and if it doesn't affect you so much, or if you don't know about mudras, you don't know what this is, you don't wish to engage, that's fine. Just your palms on your knees facing upward, and have a nice pleasant look about you. And then as for your opening and closing of the nostril, again, the special way to do it, I usually find it really strenuous. So what I do is I leave my 3 middle fingers free, and then I use my thumb for my right nostril and my pinky for my left nostril, and then I release as needed. So the whole point is to inhale through the right, exhale through the right, inhale through the right and hold, and then exhale through the left, inhale through the left. So you're kind of alternating between the right nostril and the left nostril. So I'll show you with the explanation so that maybe it makes sense that way. So you want to have your thumb on your right nostril and your pinky on your left nostril. You want your left hand resting on your left lap, and then you want to go in for inhale, 2, 3, hold, 3, 2, and inhale, 2, 3, hold. Block that left side, and then start exhaling, 4, 3, 2 on your right side. Inhale, hold, and then inhale on the same side, and then release. So we alternate that way. So you have an inhale, a hold, exhale. You have an inhale, hold, and then you have an exhale, an inhale, hold, an exhale, inhale, hold, exhale, inhale, hold, exhale. Make sense? All right. This is a little further practice for the alternating nostril breathing. So get yourself comfortable, palms facing upward, and put that thumb into inhale and 4, and hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, inhale, 1, 2, 3, and hold, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then just relax and allow your body to resume normal breathing. Don't overly engage your eyes with light. Do it gradually, and enjoy the relaxation that comes with this. Our second kind of breathing is called the Ujjayi breath. And Ujjayi breath is also known as the oceanic breath, and it is, or the dragon breath, because it makes that sound. So it's really good for you, for calming down, for regulating anxiety. It releases your toxins because you're aiming for shorter inhales, longer inhales. And it just brings a consciousness to your breath. Actually, primarily because you're making a sound, you are forced to think about your breath. And that is very important for you to understand this fuel that keeps you alive. And just take a moment of appreciation. It just does that. It centers you. So shoulders rolled back, spine straight. You can sit on a chair, you can sit on the mat. Your hands should be out in a receptive, upward facing receptive position. You can have the mudra going against on top of your knees or not, it doesn't matter. And then you want to take an active inhale, hold a little bit, and an active, very long exhale. So if you want to count for yourself, you can. You can count 4 in, hold, and then exhale. Maybe a count of 5 or 6. And whenever you're doing Ujjayi, it's about constricting your air passage in the throat. You want to, it's a throatal sound, and you constrict your epiglottis. Your glottis. You constrict your glottis to be able to push air out. It's almost like whispering, but it's a breathing whisper. Yeah, very primal. So just assume a comfortable sitting position, be receptive, have a joyful look about your face, and then you want to draw your breath in through your nose, and whenever it goes through your throat, you want to make sure that it's creating that oceanic sound. So I'm gonna just do it, and maybe you can take a listen and look for 1 or 2 breaths and then join in. We're gonna do 3 sets. So the first one, you can do as few as 3 inhales and 3 exhales, however many it takes you. I say go for 7. 7 is a good number for the 3 sets, so that you have a nice 21 complete set of breaths. Yeah. If you want to do a little bit more of the Ujjayi breath, here's an interacted further practice. So get yourself comfortable, palms facing up, pleasant look on your face, spine straight. Remember, this is a throatal breath, and as much as it engages the thoracic muscle, you have to constrict your airway, and you have to produce that constricted breath sound. So once you're comfortable, let's begin. Inhale, nice and deep. Hold and exhale. Inhale, hold, and exhale. This is the pattern that you have to follow. Resume your normal breathing. Rub your hands together and soak in that goodness, that good energy. And peep through your fingers if you want to open your eyes. And look on the floor before you lift your eyes up. You start by, how do you do Kapalbhati? Kapalbhati is an abdominal breath. You're using your abdominal muscles. And so you want to expel air out of your body vigorously. You want to inhale passively and exhale actively. So the best way to go about it is to put a finger in front of you and imagine this is a candle and you want to blow it out. All right? So just see what my abdomen does when that happens. Yeah? So you notice my inhales are very natural, very passive. My exhales are very forceful and very active. So that's the motion. But now you want to close your mouth and do the same thing through your nose. It helps to make sure your nose is nice and clean, and you shouldn't be having a running nose. This is really good for opening up your sinuses as well, okay? So just try it, give it a few goes. And whenever you do that, make sure that you engage as little of your thoracic and your clavicular muscles as possible. You're going to move because your abdomen is moving violently, but somebody looking at your face should see you being very calm, looking very calm. It should be a very pleasant experience. And whenever you're done, we're going to start with 11 strokes. Whenever you're done with 11 strokes of exhales, active exhales, you can then just let it be, and do not force a breath in or a breath out. Just allow your body to kind of enjoy that natural high that you've supplied it with. And then you can do it, we're going to do it 3 times. So each time you can either choose to just go by 11, or you can increase this to 15 and then 21, and then odd numbers are highly appreciated. So palms facing up, hold yourself straight. Close your eyes to just increase, to heighten your senses. And because this is an inward journey, it's also really nice to close yourself up so that you're kind of traveling within yourself. So yes, palms facing up, pleasant face on, yeah, bit of a smile there. You can be in the mudra if you want to. You can just place your palms gently on your knees. So here we go. I'm gonna, because I'll be doing it, I can't count for you, just count your 11 strokes and then stop, and then we'll increase the second one to 15 and the third one to 21. You can do it slowly. I'm gonna start with slow ones, and then in my second lot I'm gonna do fast ones, and in my last one I'll do slow ones as well. Once you're done with your 21, just sit calmly. The harder you go,
the longer it will take your body to need oxygen. So right now, just enjoy that oversurge of oxygen. Do not rush, but do not force your body to hold its breath. Let it resume its normal breathing when it wants to, but for now, just enjoy that high. When you're done, look downward. You can wrap that energy between your hands and absorb it. Remember to ease yourself back into the world. Don't give your eyes an oversurge of light.
Breath is a natural drug, and it can give you a high nothing else in the world can. And I hope that, especially the Kalpati, it really opens you up, and I really hope that you enjoyed that. Try not to move too much. Try not to overly engage your senses, and bask in your new elevation. Bask in your new elevation. And thank you very much. Kindly subscribe, like, comment, and I will see you on my next video. Namaste.